Welcome to Maven Chronicles. I am your host, Grace Mayele. On today's show, we're talking about faith in the marketplace. I'm so excited, okay? I don't know if you can feel my energy, but I am like, whoo, on 5.0 because I have a great guest today. I have Ronald Felix. Ronald is a great friend of mine. He is a mastermind. If there's anybody that's passionate, it's him. And when I say passion, he's passion at its best. Not just because of everything he takes on, but just because he's such a social purveyor. Yes. And I think he was so fitting for this segment because it's just everything that we believe in. And the reason why I brought him on is because I felt like it was such an important topic. Faith in the marketplace, because I get a lot of query where people are asking me, Grace, how are you able to incorporate what you believe in within your business endeavors? And I'm just like, for me, it's natural. But I said, you know what? I don't want to just keep it taboo and just be like, hey, I'm spiritual, hey, I'm Christian. I don't feel like that's how it should be. So you know what? I said, let me bring on somebody who understands and also is a promoter of this cause. I have Ronald. Listen, Ronald has like a 10-page biography. It's one of those biographies that I would have to read. But how about I just let you take the platform and just introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, who you are, and then we're just going to get into the nitty-gritty.
Well, it's my honor and pleasure to be here on the set.
I'm happy to have you.
And it's been a long time, it was overdue, and we always have busy life, but everything is happening now. So yes, I'm not a shy person. I've been in the entertainment industry for quite a long time. I'm working on a few big projects right now as we're speaking, and I was before an extra in a couple movies in Montreal because I was born and raised in Montreal.
Yeah, that's it. You're from Montreal. Yeah,
I'm from Montreal. Yeah. So I was on a different set with Eddie Murphy, Monica, as an extra background, people moving.
Yeah, you were like an actor, exactly. You were moving around, getting your hit the ground running and acting, that platform.
Making people laugh.
That's it.
Also in the music industry, I was a drummer at church and promoting event, concert, conference. That led me today to two big projects that I'm working on now. I'm launching CNV TV, which is a Christian Canadian inspirational television in Toronto.
Okay.
That will be headquartered in Toronto, and actually we will be on air in 2014.
So 2014, we have to look out for that big launch in Toronto. Yes. Do we have to be in Toronto to see the launch, or?
The launch will be in Toronto, but yeah, you will have to be invited to.
You have to be invited, okay?
You will have to be invited. You will be there.
And I'll be there. Okay, Malaka TV.
No problem. No problem. And also I'm working with. I'm an investor for a movie that will be launched, I hope for in less than 2 years in Hollywood, which is called Hearts and Minds.
Hearts and Minds.
And with an award winner documentary producer, Maria Shin. She won the...
Is this the gift you brought me here?
Yes, that's the actual documentary.
Okay, Journey to the Little Rock, okay.
Yes, and inspirational movie, so anything inspirational. You're talking about television, that has inspirational content. You're talking about movie that has inspirational content. I mean, I'm all about faith-based entertainment. Big advocate of faith-based policy also. It's not only the entertainment side, but the policy side. How the government is working with churches and how can we be effective, and not only a praying organization, but moving to an effective economic force in the
That's what I find so powerful about you, because I'm sitting here and I'm like in awe, because I'm just like, you're involved in so many aspects of entertainment, and it's important for people to hear that, because entertainment is so big, it's so broad, it's so vague, and a lot of people don't know how to tap into it because they always have like a certain persona of what it is. And not only that, but it's because you say everything is faith-based, and people are probably like, okay, what is faith-based? And at the same time too, how can you come from a faith-based perspective and be able to diversify? So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I really want us to get into to get in depth in first of what is a faith-based industry, what is that being engaged. So let's just take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Monsieur Felix and really get into what is being a faith-based entrepreneur and just a purveyor all around.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I personally like to thank you for watching Luca's Light Show. It was a wonderful experience. Now, for the next season, we're going to be focused on experiences. With my old guests and new guests, we're going to talk about new experiences. It could be good and bad. Don't miss it every Monday, MalaikaTV.com.
You are watching MalaikaTV.com, the first Afro-Caribbean web television in Canada. New shows, new content, and a new image. Watch Malaika TV and enjoy your time.
Would you like to promote a social event, a music album, or a project in the Afro-Caribbean community? Even more, you just open a new business. It could be a drugstore or a barbershop, and you would like to attract more customers. The solution is quite simple. Buy an advertising space on Malaika TV and receive a bigger visibility in all the Afro-Caribbean community in Canada. For further information, please contact us on d.finance@malaikatv.com.
So we are back. So on today's show, I'm talking with Ronald Felix. So right before the break, Ronald, we were talking about what you're involved in, and you mentioned that everything that is faith-based, that's where you put your name on it. So for people who are probably watching and they're thinking, okay, but what is faith-based? What is that? Can you please break that down in your terms and explain what is it that you do and what is it being engaged from a faith-based perspective?
Let's not be confused with, let's define marketplace before, because we're not going to reinvent the wheel. There's always the different area. Marketplace for me is defined and combined with different sphere of influence. In the marketplace you can have the education system, the entertainment and media system, and you can have the healthcare system, you can have the political system. So all those sphere of influence are those who are driving the economic force of the society today. So when I'm talking about faith-based, I'm just talking about normal people who just putting their belief system inside those sphere of influence. So it's just about bringing what you believe as your value in your workplace.
That's right, just bringing out your inner strength, bringing out your inner perspective and being able to master your influence. And I feel like that's exactly what brings us here. Just like I was saying, I get so many messages where people are just like, oh, I find you empowering, I find you influential, all that stuff. And, I just think as a Christian or it's hard sometimes, or just as an all-around person, it's hard to mix what you believe in with what you do. And I say, no, I don't find it hard, because at the end of the day, that's what drives what I do. Because you have to be able to stand on what you believe, and at the same time to be able to bring that influence to the masses. And I feel like a lot of us, that's where we struggle. So when we look at everything you do, people are like, okay, well, how can you be here, be there, and be there, and be there, and still have impact? Or how do you get to a point where you even have impact, right?
Well, first of all, people need to understand what their purpose in life.
Oh, yes.
If you don't know your purpose, you don't know where you're going.
And you're going to abuse it.
You have no map, and that's the thing. In Hollywood, for example, you have a lot of producers, and I was reading a book behind the screen, and the book says that a lot of the Christian or evangelical community, when they don't like a show on TV, they're just sending letters to producers and sending letters like, we don't like this show, you should take this off TV, and then this is not appropriate for our children, and you have all those focus group and all that kind of
just to analyze the market and stuff.
But in the book they say that we're doing it the wrong way. What we should do as Christians is maybe first of all know what's your purpose, and second of all go and study your ground, your field. And if you don't like television, instead of spending hours complaining, go in university, take course, and understand the mechanic and the behind the scene, and understand how it's worked, and understand your industry, and then now you can impact and propose something different. When I'm talking about faith-based, I'm just saying that we're offering people another alternative, another kind of message that what they are proposing to us now. So it's not about brainwashing people like you should do what I
just
do,
forcing them and
forcing something on them. You should watch what I watch.
And that's what influence does, because when you have a natural influence on people, you're not trying to convince, because who you are is going to lead. And as a person, you're supposed to be a leader. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about anyways. And entrepreneurship, again, like we were saying earlier, it's not just about making money, it's just about having an all-around impact and stuff. You mentioned purpose. I always say this, and I think it's very key. If you don't know your purpose, you're not going to know how to do anything. But I think the million-dollar question that a lot of people have as well is, okay, well, how do you get to a point where you know your purpose? Because unless you know that, you can't really know what's going to drive you. You don't really know what you can stand on. So we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to get into that, and also to that point of discovery, and also discussing how you got to that point of discovery, because you've tackled so many fields, and just we'll be able to kind of get into that and see how we can get into the marketplace and really understand where we need to be. So let's take a quick break.
Je suis une des animatrices de Rendez-vous. Et Rendez-vous est une émission de copines en train de parler des sujets controversés, des sujets que plusieurs femmes, plusieurs jeunes filles se demandent. Et puis on serait ici tous les dimanches pour expliquer en fait c'est quoi les sujets.
Bien sûr que l'émotion c'est nécessaire parfois. Comme on dit, toute vérité n'est pas bonne à dire. Par exemple, moi je sais qu'il y a une chose qu'on appelle la vérité et c'est quelque chose qui peut être croyable.
Heard it from the main man already. Malaika TV, Entre Hommes, it's topping the charts right now. Very highly viewed. So if ever you want to go ahead and pass a message, don't hesitate. Publicité at malaikatv.com. That's essentially the address, and we'll get your product out there. I mean, we're big. We're talking Afro-Caribbean big.
This show is brought to you by our official sponsor. For more information, visit.
Alrighty, so you guys are back. So right before the break, we were talking about purpose. What do you think, or how do you think people can get a better understanding of their purpose?
Purpose for me, it's always tied about what's your passion about. You will die if you don't do your purpose. You can live some kind of so-called life and go to work 9 to 5, and then at the end of the day, if you don't fulfill your purpose, you feel that you don't accomplish nothing. But purpose is really tied. A clue is really tied to your passion. So what are you dreaming about? What thought are you waking up every morning? What's your passion? Even though you don't have a salary for it, you will do it for free. So that's really tied to your purpose.
And when did you get to that point where you understood? Because we have a lot of breakthroughs in our lives, and obviously you've been involved in so many endeavors. But when did you get to that point where you're like, you know what, this is what I'm called? Because everything you've done you always had a great understanding of it. But when did you get to that point where you're like, you know what, this is it?
People need to understand that you can pray on, or you can pray over your life and pray about asking God that, yeah, bless me, and I want to do politics, for example, and then you can spend days and praying, but if you're not trying, you're not going to find out. So for myself personally, I was helping a lot of gospel music artists in Montreal get onto television, get onto airwave, on TV, on radio. I was touching different kind of stuff, and I just found when was my strength,
Yeah.
and found out that I've been read about it, pray about it, and research about it. And because a lot of time people think that it's going to come and fall into your hand.
That's right.
And yes, I'm going to make money out of it. Oh, you don't know. I can name a lot of artists who still washing dishes after video. Music video.
Yeah, misconceptions.
But you have to understand that where you are, it's a passion, and it's going to drive you for long term. So it's permanent. This is you too. What I'm doing now is not that off camera, in camera. This is who I am. So it's important for anybody to be himself.
I love it so much. There you have it, guys. I'm with Ronald Felix. We're going to make sure I leave your credentials at the end of the show so people know where to find you, keep up with what you're doing, and keep up with your message. I think that's really what's important about you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week. I'm your host, Grace Mayel of Maven Chronicles, and there you have it, Ronald Felix. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me so much.